Hello, my name is Michael Bain. I'm a knife sharpener here in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been a chef for the last 10 years of my life. And my good friend Hugo over there at Allday Knives sent me this awesome Santoku blade in white #2 steel. I think the coolest thing about it is the handle has been made with reclaimed plastic litter. No waste, cleaning up the earth, and it's a vegan knife. It's a very nice quality, and I'm gonna show you how to sharpen it and maintain it. Essentially, a sharp knife is two flat edges on each side of the knife meeting at an acute edge. Imagine you're carving the top of an equilateral triangle out when sharpening knives. I think that's a good mental image to think of. So yes, in essence, the most important thing is finding an angle and keeping an angle. It's the only thing you're focusing on when you're very first starting sharpening. So when sharpening, there are two sides of the knife you have to sharpen. Obviously, you have to do each side equally, but one side will be considered your awkward side. For right-handed users, going away from yourself like this and back towards yourself is considered the comfortable side. But when you flip the knife over, that's when it gets interesting. A lot of people will go left-handed like this, but I think when you're just starting out brand new, turning the knife like this and going from nose to heel very slowly is the best way to go. So you have to find the angle on this side. The only thing you're focusing on right now is finding the exact same angle and keeping it. Speed is not a factor right now, it's all about precision. Just keep this exact same angle, go slow, and be precise. And then after you've been doing it for a couple seconds on this side, let's say you've done 10 to 20 strokes of the exact same angle, very slow, very cautious, you flip it over, and you'll notice that this side is a lot more comfortable for you. You'll do the exact same thing, emulating that angle, going slowly, focusing on holding the angle. That's the most important thing. You can turn it over and feel a small wire's edge on the underside of this knife. That's called the burr. A sharpener's job boils down to creating these burrs and removing them. You'll come back on your comfortable side and you'll notice how much easier it is to maintain this angle. That's why we started on our awkward side first, because it's easier to transfer it over to your comfortable side. So a good way to really focus in and keep that angle is using your entire body. You'll see videos of sharpeners going fast, but we're beginners. Let's just use our entire body as a jig here. You can see I'm using my legs, I have my arms locked. I'm flexing my core right now because it's very solid. This knife angle is not moving, it's a full body thing right now. So we've done a couple strokes on each side. We're starting to get a little bit of muscle memory on how to form an edge by keeping the exact same angle. I mentioned burrs earlier, but we're going to talk about them now. The burr forms on the opposite side that you've been sharpening. It's the wire edge, it's the material that you're removing from the metal to form that acute angle at the edge. Like I said before, a sharpener's job boils down to creating and removing those burrs. Once you've done equal strokes on both sides, I've done 20 on each side, we'll do what's called a stropping motion. That's when you take the knife, put it down on the stone, and go away from the edge, towards the spine. This is a stropping motion. It's very gentle on the blade, and it really helps align the edge. So we've done it. In essence, that's how you sharpen a knife. A lot of people, everybody gets caught up on which angle to use, 10 degrees, 30 degrees. That doesn't matter. This is your first time doing it. You just need to think of an angle, hold it, and maintain it. I've done 20 strokes on each side. I've done deburring strokes, and I already kind of have a sharp knife. The next thing is a leather strap. The strap is the final step. Super gentle and easy on the blade. All it does is microscopically align those fine teeth to that super straight line. And this is how you do it. Very simple, just like the stones with the stropping motion. You just place it on your leather. And you have to go edge to spine here. You can't go into the leather or else you'll cut it. And then you come back on the other side. A couple of those. And then look. It's already sharp. So there you go. That is a very simple 101 course for the absolute beginner on how to maintain your already sharp Japanese knife straight from Japan. Now, it's been a couple months. What if your knife is dull? What if it's cutting like this when you first get it, but after a couple months, of just regular home use, your knife is no longer sharp. What do we do? So yes, this is a 120 grit stone. It's very coarse, but we're following the exact same procedure as before. We're starting on our awkward side, we're finding an angle, and we're focusing all of our energy on maintaining that angle. Speed's not a factor, power's not a factor, all about accuracy here. We found our angle, we turn the knife over, slight wire's edge, that's perfect. We'll do the exact same amount of strokes on our comfortable side. It's all about keeping the angle. A lot of folklore and myths say that a 120 grit edge isn't good enough for a sharp edge, but just doing 20 strokes following the exact same angle, taking my sweet time, I have something that can cut this magazine paper with relative ease. Is it as sharp as it was before? No, but we're just gonna follow 2 more steps now. So I've moved up now in grit. We started at 120 to really cut through the steel and make our job easier essentially. And now we're moving on to a much more medium stone. This is a 1000 grit stone. This is considered pretty much your general workhorse stone. Exact same procedure. Start on our awkward side. Exact same angle. I can't stress it enough. Once we flip and go to our other side, we're checking the edge for any burr. I feel one, so I'm going to take my knife flat and do a sharpening motion. Pull it against the edge. So here we are. We're after our 120 grit stone, which is coarse and aggressive, that removes a lot of material and helps us apex the edges better. We used our medium stone, which is our 1000 grit stone, to really refine and smooth out that edge. This knife is sharp right now. It's good to go. But using this last stone, this 8000 grit stone, will really refine it on a microscopic level and give us a really attractive polish as well. The exact same process as before. A little bit of water, rub that in, 20 strokes, both sides, the exact same angle. Go slow. Use your entire body for this. Then you come back to the other side, exact same thing. These motions aren't difficult. Anybody can do this. It's just about knowing what you're doing. Still a little bit of burr on that side. This is what I'm feeling. And I'm just gonna keep working it. Oh yeah. As you can see, after that 8000 grit stone, we have a really nice polish on that edge. What the polish does is, 1, it looks cool. 2, because the edge is so polished, it'll move through the food at a much easier rate, giving you a sharper feeling blade. We're at the final step. These blades are made with such high quality. This white number 2 paper steel sharpens up beautifully. And the final step is the strop. Such a simple device, gives you the sharpest knives. You remember what I did to it with the brick? It's sharp. This is a truly sharp knife. But what do we do after it's been 3 or 4 uses and it's not quite as screaming sharp as it was before? Well, because this is a ground 50-50 edge, we can take this honing rod. We don't have to be Gordon Ramsay doing all this nonsense. You just simply put it right here and go out. Speed's not a factor when you're sharpening knives. I moved very slow throughout this entire process. The goal for you should be accuracy. All my years in professional kitchens, some of the best advice from my Japanese sushi chef was use as little force necessary to cut through the food. We don't need the cutting board to be making all sorts of noise when we're cutting. It should just be a smooth, controlled motion. I'm barely making contact with this cutting board. I'm just going in gently, nothing crazy, nothing fast. So what we're talking about right now is knife maintenance. This is how you make this edge that you've worked for last for you longer. I could easily cut this onion like that, but it's not good for my knife. Yeah, I look cool, but this is what's good for your knife. I'm still going fast, there's just no power behind it. There's a difference between speed and power. So these knives are truly top of the line. This is This is some beautiful craftsmanship, a really, really good steel, and a conscientious handle. It's great that Hugo's doing this cool stuff with these knives, and I'm grateful to know the guy. So yeah, if you take care of these knives a tiny little bit, they'll serve you for a lifetime. Really good stuff.